for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, and welcome, Mr. Chairman and members of the Commission. I hope the next time we meet that we'll have a full Commission, but it's wonderful to see you, and it's important that you're here. I have an observation first, and that is, and it's with some curiosity that I raise this. The chairman of the full committee asked each one of the commissioners if they supported net neutrality, and each one said yes, with some additional comments. Now, Chairman Pai, chairmanship rests on the altar of unraveling net neutrality as we know it. So I with all due respect to you, I don't, I don't think it's a credible statement for you to say that you support it, because everything that I've read about what you've said is the promise to unravel net neutrality with its protections. And so it's easy to say, I'm against blocking, I'm against throttling, I'm against whatever. Who is going to enforce that? Who? How? And so it's an observation, but I think it's an important one to place on the record. I've raised this before in previous hearings with previous witnesses when they bring up the whole economic case and the chilling of investment in our country because of the handful of sections that are part of Title II that were applied to net neutrality. And we know that publicly held companies and their CEOs, when they make a statement to their shareholders under penalty of law, have to be truthful. And I can't find anything in any record that states where a CEO has said, because of Title II, there's a chill on the investments of the company that I represent. Now, you say you're studying it. How are you going to compare the statements made by executives in the to their shareholders, which I said under penalty of truthful, to the comments that are filed by those same companies in the proceeding that you're undertaking?
Congressman, we're going to test all the facts in the record.
No, I'm asking you a specific question.
Yes.
Are you going to take the comments of the CEOs to their shareholders and compare and contrast them with the comments that they place to the FCC on this matter?
If those facts are in the record, absolutely.
You're going to compare and contrast them?
We will look at all relevant facts in the record.
Are you going to compare and contrast them?
Well, I mean, it depends on what facts are in the record. Yeah, absolutely, including the 10Ks that I've cited and the statements that are in the record.
I think what's important to note here is that a recent poll found that 70% of voters and 71% of Republicans across the country think the Internet has improved over the last few years. So this is not just the big ISPs. We're talking about everyone that is a part of this ecosystem, and I really think that that's being overlooked. I think it's disturbing that you've refused to fully comply with the FOIA request, asking for the text of more than 47,000 informal net neutrality complaints filed with the FCC. I think that you're being selective about what you want to read and what you want to hear. If it fits with the position that you stated before you became chairman and since you became chairman, then it doesn't count. And I don't, you're not a level playing field, and that's your prerogative. But I don't think, coming here today and saying I'm for net neutrality is really a credible statement. I want to raise RT. Which is Russian television, but they changed the name so that people wouldn't know who they were. They're operating in our country, and I'd like to know and I didn't understand your response. You stated what you can do at the Commission. Can you tell us what your commitment is to do from the Commission? Because in both in a classified setting, the Congress heard the intelligence community speak to it. In the declassified public document, it is replete with references to RT. They're operating in our country. And I'd like to know what role you believe that the FCC should play in this. They are spreading propaganda in our country.
Thank you, Congresswoman. The question here is with respect to the FCC's sponsorship identification rules.
I understand.
Those rules apply to broadcasters.
Yes.
So to the extent that RT or any entity is paying broadcasters for the...
I want to know what you believe the FCC can do about this.
Congressman, I was answering the question, is with respect to the sponsorship ID rules, enforcing those rules to the extent that RT or any entity has paid...
Are you prepared to do that?
Oh, if we will always enforce our sponsorship ID rules, yes.
Well, why haven't you begun to? This is in the public realm now.
Congresswoman, I'm not aware that there are...
Have you read the declassified report?
I have not, Congresswoman.
I would like you to read that, and then I'll follow up with you.
I'd be happy to do that.
Thank you.